It wasn't long before the Xanax turned into Oxycontin, and Oxycontin turned into a number of other things. And soon I found myself with a big problem. When I turned 15, my dad passed away on Thanksgiving Day. Although my drug use didn't start at that age, that's where my heart distanced from the Lord. So when these emotions came up about me missing my dad and, struggling with my relationship with my mom, the first thing I knew to do was go to the doctor. They prescribed me anxiety medication. It was the gateway into this life of sin. I got a DUI when I was 20 years old. I was driving the wrong way on a one-way road, and when I got pulled over, I went to jail that night and just thought to myself, this is not what I thought my life was going to turn out like. I went from prescribed medication to purchasing drugs off the street. I felt like when I would use Oxycontin, I didn't need anything else, but it soon turned the other way around. And I would feel very sick without it if I didn't have it. And so it's almost like it lured me in and then it got me. And I was under the control of this thing that I couldn't get out of. And I really, really needed help. When I was in induction, there was a lot of the layers of the onion that were being peeled back, and it was the simple things that the Lord was dealing with. But it wasn't until I got to the mountain, is what they call it, to Ventura, where God's Spirit really met me there. And it wasn't just the beginning layers of the onion that He dealt with. Then it was the deeper rooted issues of why I was doing what I was doing, that loneliness that I felt, that protection that I needed. Those were the things that God dealt with when I was in Ventura. And that's lasting and impactful. When I was in Teen Challenge, I met this woman who said, I see something in you. And when you get out of Teen Challenge, I want to mentor you. And she said, you should go to SJBC and see what, trade school programs they have available. And so I went and I picked the respiratory therapy program where I could work at the hospital. I always wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid. And so this kind of fit in that alley. So I go to respiratory school, I get my first respiratory job, and the lady who was my mentor introduced me to her son, who introduced me to James, my husband. And we have been married almost 10 years, and we lead a church in Tulare that we are so thankful to be a part of. Sometimes you think it's a negative thing that God might not be able to use you because of your story. But that's not true. I think the story is what qualifies you, because that's His power that's displayed in you. And I know I've heard that saying a lot. There's no message without the mess. There's no testimony without the test. So if I could say something to a younger me, I'd say, don't be afraid. Just do it. God will meet you there. God has a plan for your life. I would say, Marissa, get up. Get up out of this place. Go. You were made for more than this.